So this is the hip flexor self-myofascial release. I've got another video that shows me using basically like a lacrosse ball, tennis ball, sometimes even a golf ball, because again, where your hip flexor is such a small muscle group, where you're talking basically lower part of your abdomen to the top part of your thigh, and then it interconnects with your IT band. You don't necessarily need really a foam roller, and because the foam roller is a large diameter, it's not really going to be quite effective. So using something like a small ball, and basically just being down and rolling in. But another little option, it's kind of odd looking by some means, but it's taking the handle part of a kettlebell, because it has that kind of thin level there. You can basically angle it whatever way you want, but there's two ways of basically utilizing. One where you can kind of fit the way the notch is for your pelvis, and you can just basically hover over top of it, and I'll move a little bit to the side there. So from here, and I'm just gonna more or less put all my body weight through it. I'm gonna shift my pelvis kind of left to right. I'm not doing a whole lot of movement, but it gets in there quite deep, quite nice, quite discomforting for certain people. So that's one way of utilizing the kettlebell. Or the other option is using it while lying down and just basically having the bell up and keeping the leg straight, and you just find that kind of the way your leg attaches to your hip, so you can kind of turn the kettlebell and then just basically maneuver it around. I would suggest probably using something of moderate weight so that you are putting a bit of pressure in through the fascia, through the muscle, and you're just basically working it around. Again, as always, just finding any of those hot spots and parking on it and breathing through it. But it's certainly a good way, because with the hip flexor, for most people, especially in a sedentary occupation, or even runners for that matter, cyclists, things like that, the hip flexor does tend to be quite a tight area for people. So making sure that you are actually doing some form of self-myofascial release is key. And like I said, the foam roller doesn't always fit the bill just because of the large diameter. So using some of these options, the kettlebell, or like I said, a small ball, will certainly get the job done better.